Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America, and hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And I have a card that I'm going to make today. It is a wet and chilly winter day here in Melbourne. We did have a little bit of sun. We keep having a series of, they're calling them pulses, come across the Great Australian Bight that runs between the south coast of Australia and Tasmania. And yeah, it just keeps bringing cold wind and rain to us, which, you know, is what we expect in winter, so that's not a surprise. I know the northeast of the U.S. is having hot weather. Yes, there goes Paula. Hot poop Skippy. Yeah, I hope my mom pops on and tells us how it is where she is, there in the D.C. area. But so I've got a lot of die cuts to make today for this card. I'm using the Pretty Floral dies, Pretty Florals, and it coordinates with what's part of the Pretty Florals bundle. And there's an entire suite with a whole nother stamp set and set of dies that I don't have, at least as of yet. But today's card is just using the dies out of the bundle. So I'm going to set the stamp set aside, put this down, and I need, I believe, 6 of this sprig of leaves. And I've done 2 of them already. But I've noticed that the die cut sticks in the die, which is pretty standard. They have these holes in there and, you know, the pokey tool that you can use to poke them out. But one thing you can do to make it a little bit easier and not perhaps always have to poke them out, although with the thin designer series paper, more often than not you do. But to grab, if you can get wax paper, I know that's hard to find in Australia for some reason. Baking paper does work as well, but wax paper is a little bit better for this. And just put it in between, there we go, in between your die and the paper or cardstock and run it through. And that, basically it just lubricates the die a bit to let it release more easily. Hi, Gladys. Oh, yeah, you're hot and steamy too, huh? Yeah, no fun. I'd much rather cold and wet. So you see that? It just popped right out with the, it still has the, I'll show you here. The wax paper kind of stuck to it, but then it comes off. And that'll be, I think, much easier to cut the next ones. And I'm just going back and forth cutting them. With my mini cut and emboss. See, it didn't even stick in the die at all. And that's too small to cut more from, so let me grab another piece. This is from the Painted Lavender, and much to many people's surprise, this paper has carried over yet again, which is fine by me. It's very pretty. So what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 2 more. I think this piece is going to do just what I need. And I like using the designer series paper for these because it gives, I'll show you in just a minute here. The paper is subtly variegated, if you will, and that shows up nicely. This gives a little more life to the leaves. And one more. Good morning, Sarah. Staying warm and dry, I hope, this morning. See, even that one, it did pick up with the dye, but yeah, that wax paper makes a huge difference. So fortunately, I have probably a lifetime supply because I asked somebody to bring me a roll from the US a couple years ago, and they brought me 2, and I'm not sure I've even broken into the first one yet. So that's good, but I just keep a little bit on hand. Oh, I may need that for another one. Okay, so that's my 6 of these leaf boughs, and I like like I said, the variation or variegation on, let's see if I can get my light a little better. It's very subtle, but it's not flat, like just you doing straight shaded spruce would be. Now I am going to cut, what do I want? I'm going to use Calypso Coral. Let's see, I think that'll be big enough. Oh, that's 2 of them. I don't need 2 to cut this large flower. There we go. Let's do one of those. And I'm going to do the same thing again. I have all my colors over here. I have to find them. Out of, this is Petal Pink. I'm going to do one of those. Same dye. See, that one got stuck in the dye, which is fine. And I think I'm finished with that one. Now I have several to do with this next dye. So this is Basic Beige, and I have put some adhesive sheet on the back. That's double stick adhesive that comes in 6-inch by 12-inch sheets. And I'm going to use this outline dye. Make sure it's over the adhesive. And I'm going to bring in a bit of this because I have a feeling this one's going to get stuck pretty easily, and we're going to use it several times. So again, some wax paper just to lubricate the dye. This is Pretty Florals, Sarah. So there we go. I'm going to need a second one of those. And I'm going to go ahead and do it. There are a couple of score marks on here. This is a miscut, but I don't think the score marks are going to matter once this has gone through. And there we go. And I'm trying to decide if I want adhesive sheet. I need one more out of sorry. I think yes. Just doing a quick cut over here on my paper trimmer. It's got some nice slits in the backing and make it pretty easy to adhere without getting adhesive all over your hands, which I appreciate. So for this one, in fact, we're using the inner parts. Where's my tool? So I'm poking all of those out. And I will keep the outline. See if I come up with another project. Or maybe I'll put them on the inside. There goes the outline. And I need to do the same thing. This is Flirty Flamingo. I think I want a piece of this. So the hope is that these colors coordinate pretty nicely and we'll build a nice bunch of flowers. Stick. Do something. Okay. Now it's going to make a liar out of me because I said, oh, it just makes it so easy to stick without sticking on your fingers. There we go. Same thing again. Put these pieces here. And what else do I need? I need several of these big leaves, again, in that basic beige color. There we go. 3 of these. I should be able to get out of here. Okay, let's see if Another little bit of wax paper helps that. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, I think I'm now finished with my die cuts. Apparently not with this. Okay. So I have 2 of these. I'm going to do a little flower building before I assemble the whole card. And maybe we'll make some reverse flowers on the inside. Let's get rid of the, there we go. So there's that. And there's that. I am going to do a little bit of, where's my other paper? A little bit of blending brush on, just on the edges of those petals. That's petal pink, and I'm bringing in petal pink ink and a blending brush. We'll see how we go with the blending brush. Because the other way I like to use sponge dauber might be better. There we go. There's my petal pink sponge dauber. And since I just really want to get right around the edges, yeah, I like that better. I feel like I get a little more control, a little more ink exactly where and how I want it. And I'm just dabbing it on, just right on the ink pad. And that's just adding a little bit of color right around the edge of the petal. There we go. Maybe the same thing on these petal pink little bits. Again, it doesn't have to be a whole lot, just a little bit to kind of darken up the edges a bit. Again, that variation in color, variegation in color adds a little dimension. So we got word late last week that they think Charlie's going to be called in for duty this week. which is pretty exciting. Spend a couple days at kennels and in a couple months, see if there are some puppies. So, I don't know. We'll just have to see. Good morning, Jenny. Nice to see you. Happy birthday this week. Okay. So, that's the petal pink bits. While we're at it, let's do a little fun, maybe on our little flirty flamingo bits. Just gotta find my flirty flamingo. There we go. Dauber. This one I'm really just kind of touching because it's quite bright. I'm using the Pretty Florals dies today to build a card front. And I'm using all the little fiddly bits that go in this outline die. That's what I'm daubing the edges of right now. And this is for all my American and European friends, this is end of June is the end of the fiscal year here in Australia. So there are all kinds of EOFY, end of fiscal year sales. And we took advantage of it to, I've resisted for a long time, but I finally said I really, really need an extra freezer in our garage. Well, I don't need it, but it would make life a lot easier for the way I want to purchase ingredients and cook food. And Glenn said, yeah, go for it. So that's supposed to be delivered. It was supposed to be delivered, over an hour ago. But surprise, it's not here yet. So fortunately, Glenn's here today, and he's on call to answer the door if they show up. So I'm just looking for my Calypso Coral. And let's see about adding let's see if there's enough. Yeah, let's get a little more. While we're edging things, let's just go ahead and do this flower too. I'm not going to do the leaves. There we go. Just a bit. Okay, so I think we can finally start building our card. It's kind of like painting a room. You have to do all the prep and then you can get to the fun part, right? So I have a petal pink card base and another layer just for fun. There goes the door. And so let me just kind of space things out and get an idea of how we're going. Yeah, something like that. Just going to work with the one layer. Oh, I think that was just Australia Post dropping off a parcel because he's back upstairs. So, nope, not yet. I imagine they're taking breaks in the rain or the traffic's bad in the rain. Okay, so that's going to go up there. This one's going to go down more here. Let's build these flowers. I know I said that before and then I started playing. Okay. So I'm going to pull the backing off one of these. Stick it on there. And this one's going to get the petal pink insert. So I have the adhesive sheet on each of these, which should make it pretty easy to build that up. It's like my jigsaw puzzle app, right? Yeah, I'm a little sheepish because when we moved in, we purchased the fridge. It was a reasonably small fridge that was in the kitchen here. Obviously, it has a little freezer compartment. And put that in the garage. And so I have two small-ish standard fridge freezers. But I do, I've tried for almost 2 years now to figure out how to do the shopping that I want to do from the suppliers that I want to shop from with the storage I have and do the cooking that I want to do. Yep. And so now I'm going to have probably more freezer space than I really need, but not by much, and that's okay by me. Okay, so there's one flower. I'm liking that. And then we're going to do the same thing with this one with the other colors. And I like these colors because while petal pink is not my favorite color, it is a little too orangey peachy for me. It does play nicely with these other colors, and that I really like. So I'm happy to use it. And Stampin' Up! Concept artists seem to really like it. It's in so many sets of designer series paper that if you were determined to avoid it, you couldn't. Or obviously you could, it just would be hard. Come here, come here. There we go. Yes, and I thought about getting rid of the second refrigerator, but I use that too because, like I said, the refrigerator in my kitchen is not that huge, and I have a range of sauces and condiments because I cook a range of cuisines, so it's fine. It's all fine. So okay, so there's both flowers on their nest of those leaves, and then these leaves are going to go in here. And here. And one over here. And for sentiments, we got this pack of, what is it? Greetings for All. Yes, there we go. Greetings for All mix and match ephemera when I was on stage. And sometimes I don't remember to pull them out and use them, but I think I'm going to go ahead and use this Happy Birthday. Right in there. So now it's time to actually start to get stuff stuck down. So the leaves do not have adhesive on the back of them, which perhaps was a mistake, but we're going to do some gluey glue. And because they're going to have so much stuff on top of them, I don't feel a huge need to get them more than just kind of tacked down. Keeping in mind that they do have slits in some of them, so I don't want glue oozing out. I'm just doing little dabs. Yep. So what else is happening there? Yes, it's a very peachy pink, but they call it petal pink. Who am I to argue? Where do I want this one? I think down here. I don't come up with the names, although we do often have contests to see which name we can come up with. Okay, let's add some of these. Come here. I know you're pulling something else up. It's okay. Get a little more angled so it's not quite so matchy-matchy on that one. Okay, so these we're going to put up on dimensionals. Okay, who is expecting me to pull out the press and seal to do this? Come on, fess up. Goodness. Yeah, I thought about the press and seal, but I decided there was too much. It was probably going to be too many moving pieces in many ways. So I went for my check-in with my endocrinologist yesterday, since I have so many different things going on with me. And really there were no changes, which is a good thing. Cushing's, yeah, it's still there, probably. Don't know why, don't know where from. Next week I get my annual MRI, and in a couple weeks follow up with the neurosurgeon. And I'm expecting them to still not see a source, considering I have no pituitary. There's probably just a few little cells of a tumor floating around in there somewhere still. Not able to be picked up on the MRI. Okay, so there's that, and it's going to go on there. What do you think? Should I sponge the edges of that layer or leave it like so? I'm going to add a few sparkles. And the other really good news is that my blood sugars seem to be staying under control, which I'm very happy about because I haven't felt deprived on my current eating, and if they stay where they are, then we're looking at reducing some of my medication. So that's a good thing. I think I've decided not to sponge the edges as I am gluing this down. So that's fine. I'm going to set that aside for the moment, and I'm going to work on an inside panel. So there's an inside layer. This is light enough. I could just do it straight on there and not add in the white, but I'm going to because I think it looks a little bit more finished that way. Okay. Just make it so I don't do okay. Yes. Oh, somebody said yes, I think it's a sponge. Well, next one. Yes, good health news. I'm happy about that. And my worrywart of a husband came with me to hear it from the horse's mouth and able to ask his own questions. So I don't get peppered with, well, did you ask this and did you ask this? So he actually didn't have many questions, which is good. He usually doesn't when he actually comes, because he hears the entire explanation the first time around. So but we both agreed that we still really like my endocrinologist. Very thorough, listens well, answers, and doesn't even wait for questions, but provides lots of information because he knows we like lots of information. So, always a good thing. Okay, so there's one, and then we'll just layer this one on top a little bit, or a lot. Thank goodness for adhesive sheets, let me say. Can you imagine trying to put glue on this little tiny outline? Oh my. What else is happening? Not a whole lot. Just normal stuffs. Okay. There's that. I like that too. Okay. Now we're going to glue that on the inside. So, outside, inside. Now we need to figure out the bling. I got all kinds of things here. Okay. Default is plain old rhinestones, but I think we can perhaps do a little better. Come here. So one possibility are these Riverside Irregular pearls. I would do the white ones. Or the white ones of those. I don't like those as much. Nope. We're just going to eliminate those. Iridescent foil gems, those are okay. I've got both the Flirty Flamingo and Petal Pink of these. And these are probably not, but let's see how they look. I would probably do the clear ones of these shades of green hexagons. Let's see what we can do with light and it's hard for you guys to see, isn't it? The white, these ones, Sarah? I'm leaning that way. Anybody else want to weigh in? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep. Okay, so we're going to do these. Yep, I agree with everybody here. Okay, here we go. Just waiting for my video to catch up so I can see it. On the screen. Whoops. That's not what I meant to do, sorry. Yep. Okay, now we'll push those down. There we go. One card. Oh, now it's way zoomed out. Let's see. Okay, well, we're gonna end quite soon. Now you can see how messy my desk is from all of this. So this will be on my next blog post at nancysniftynotes.com. If you have any questions, comments, or would like for me to be your demonstrator here in Australia, you can reach out to me, Nancy at nancysniftynotes.com. If you need a demonstrator in one of the other Stampin' Up! Markets, North America, Europe, New Zealand, Canada, that's part of North America, I realize, shoot a message to me and I will link you up with one of my friends there. If you need catalogs and you're not working with somebody, let me know. There's a link from nancysniftynotes.com to my online store. You can look at everything there. And I will be back same time, same place next week with another project to share with you. So thank you for joining me today. Bye-bye.